Hello, Peter Greenlaw here. I'm the founder of the New Health Conversation movement, which I think we sorely need. I also discovered the TDOS syndrome, which stands for toxicity, nutritional deficiency, being overweight, and stress. Both are registered trademarks, U.S. Patent Office. I've done 1,500 lectures all over the world, appeared 20 times on PBS, and I was interviewed on 4 of the biggest TV markets in America. With all that said, I want to clarify right away, I am not the expert, but I became an expert on the experts. You see, for the last 20 years, I've had the incredible privilege to work with some of the greatest minds in medicine, oncology, molecular biology, genetics, and nutraceutical chemistry. And everything I'm sharing with you, I learned from them. Can you imagine hanging out with people like that? I would hope you would learn something, which I certainly did. Many things that I had no clue about whatsoever. So we formed the New Health Conversation, because I think we really sorely need it. Now, on our website, which is free, you can go and get real scientific data, r2mprotocol.com, r2mprotocol.com. Now, what I want to talk about today is, I just got on my news feed this morning, they were celebrating the tremendous results of these shots that they're giving to people. So in the study that they were raving about, it was 18 months, and the weight loss in 18 months was about 36 pounds or 2 pounds a month. Well, I just laugh. See, this is where we are. We keep supporting mediocrity, because I have in my hand, these are 2 studies, one in the obesity journal and another one in the nutrition journal, where they've just published in the last 6 months of this revolutionary new approach called intermittent nutritional fasting, not intermittent fasting, and something called protein pacing. In those studies, that were 80% women, 20% men, no one allowed to exercise, the least anybody lost in 30 days was 16 pounds. I mean, really. Also, no one was allowed to exercise, and yet they gained between 6 and 8% lean muscle mass. They lowered blood pressure, blood sugar, bad cholesterol, triglycerides. They lowered inflammation by 25%. And in 8 weeks, they reduced visceral fat in the body by 33%. See, and I'm not even opposed to the shot. If you want to do a shot and it's going to help you lose weight, that's great. But really understand what you're doing. The shot, whether it's Mediterranean, whether it's keto, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's, and in another study that was done actually in the Journal of the American Medical Association, was a 12-month study where they looked at pretty much every diet that you can imagine, including Atkins, keto, Mediterranean, paleo, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Beachbody, etc. In 12 months, the average weight loss was about 16 pounds, with no appreciable difference in any of those factors that the CDC has said. If you have 3 of those factors, overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, you're in a 92.3% category of being metabolically unhealthy. That's more than 9 out of 10 people in the United States. And yet, yeah, the shots are working. I mean, people are losing weight. But what they don't tell you about diets, and here's the downfall. Again, not my opinion. This is coming out in the studies. Every person that's doing the shot, what are they losing? Lean muscle mass. But that's what happens on diets, because see, when you lower calories, this is what they don't tell you. You also lower nutrition. And the only thing your body runs on is nutrition. It doesn't run on calories. The body doesn't even know what a calorie is, doesn't care about calories. So when you lower nutrition, your body goes to seek nutrition out. Where does it find it? The richest source of nutrients in your body is pretty much in our muscles. So here the body is eating your muscle to bring the nutritional quotient up, to power you, okay? Well, the downside of that is, as you lose lean muscle, you slow your metabolism down, you come off the diet, you gain all the weight back. In these studies, they've said on diets, the least you lose in a diet is about 50% of your lean muscle mass. There's a meta-analysis. Meta-analysis means it's a study of other long-term studies. Actually, in this case, it was 29 long-term studies done at the University of Minnesota, and they came out with 2 conclusions in the long run after the 29 long-term studies. 100% you're going to gain weight, and secondly, you lost lean muscle mass. But again, you understand you're losing the lean muscle mass because your body's seeking nutrition. It's taken out of your out of your muscles. And I'm not opposed to diets. You can do it. You lose weight on a diet, but it's the wrong kind of weight. That's why you come off the diet, you gain all the weight back. Well, in these new studies that are supported, like I said, by peer-reviewed studies. And for those of you who don't know, a peer-reviewed study is the highest you can go. You'll hear some of these companies say, well, we have clinically proven ingredients. So we did a clinical study. Good, congratulations, but that doesn't count in the medical world. You need to have the study peer-reviewed to get published in one of these big journals. When the journal decides to publish your study, they don't do the analysis. They send it out to other world-class experts. That's what peer-reviewed means. And what's their main job of the peer reviewers? To discredit what you're saying, because the journal doesn't want to publish something that's not backed up in reality. I mean, it doesn't matter what the diet is. I'll just give you some for instances. Okay, so here's a 8-month study on the Mediterranean calorie restricted. So they did Mediterranean calorie restricted weight loss in 8 months, 10.2 pounds. Are you starting to see the trend? Because the weight loss shot in 18 months was 36 pounds. So you can almost extrapolate here and see. Then there was another study, it was 14 weeks, and I'd never heard of this one before, where they fasted for 24 hours and they ate for a day. So the whole day, no food, next day you could eat. So, and this was intermittent fasting. This was time restricted, where you ate in a 12-hour window. There are other ones where you don't eat for 16 hours and eat for 8. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. When they did the analysis of intermittent fasting, time restricted, calorie restriction, counting whatever it was, the weight loss was almost identical. So in this case, they actually did pretty well. In 14 weeks, they lost 14 pounds, a pound a week. So that's really pretty good if you look at the fact that with the shot, they lost 2 pounds a month for 18 months. And then there is, there's just so much evidence that all points to the same thing. On all these diets, initially, you lose some weight, no question. But again, it's the wrong kind of weight. If I can expose you to anything, it's to that reality. And then you're going to tell me you're going to diet and exercise. Well, the thing about that is, if you're going to go on a diet and lower calories and then exercise, you're making the problem worse. Why? You're asking your body to put up more energy with less nutrition. And what do you end up losing? You lean muscle mass. Now, if you can get nutrient-dense food and exercise, that's a whole different ballgame. But I told you in the clinical study they did, no one was even allowed to exercise, and they gained 6 to 8% of lean muscle mass. They're not opposed to exercise. They're not. But they wanted to make sure in the study that exercise didn't play a part in the overall success of these clinical studies. So, our goal is to make you aware. If you go to R2M Protocol, there's no advertising, there's no celebrity endorsements there. There's the real scientific evidence of what they saw, including a contrast with the Journal of the American Medical Association, where we went through and looked at, the fat loss, the inflammation, all the factors are right there. And we gave you the studies, and there's a 20-minute interview with Dr. Paul Arciero, arguably the world's greatest nutritional researcher for almost 4 decades. And he says in the interview, Peter, for almost 40 years, we've been looking for the silver bullet for health and weight loss. He said, we finally found it. And now, for the first time ever, we have the clinical evidence proving that we found the solution. So I hope you'll go there. I encourage you to. It's not going to cost you anything. Aren't you at least a little bit curious? It's okay. You can be skeptical. I have no problem. And if you want to go back after being there and just go on a regular diet, go for it. You'll probably fit in your skinny jeans for a little while, but then how quickly will you gain the weight? Most people tell me they gain the weight an awful lot faster than they lost it on a traditional diet. And also, in closing, the last thing you've been told, it's unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast on a diet, 100%, because you're losing lean muscle mass. These researchers now have said, actually, the reverse is true. If you can be in a position where you can lose weight as quickly and safely as possible without the loss of lean muscle mass, that's the road to maximizing your quality of life potential. So I hope you enjoyed this. So like, share, follow, comment about our TikTok. We want to spread this around the world. We want to help as many people as possible. And go to the website, r2mprotocol.com. Have a wonderful day.